All right, let's talk about recovery. I want to help you recover better from your workouts. And in this video, I want to talk about some of the feelings that you might have after certain types of workouts and how that will impact your recovery and how you think about doing these workouts in the future. So I want to look at two different types of feelings that you might have after very different workouts. Let's say that you get on the track and you run 8 times 200 meters really fast. Or for the first time, let's say you came to visit me in Colorado and we ran up a mountain. And while the total distance was something that you were totally ready to handle, the downhill descent was just brutal on your legs. And you just simply weren't ready for all that downhill pounding. Or let's say you got in the weight room and instead of doing an easy workout for your first session in the gym, you started doing all kinds of plyometrics and lifting heavy and maxing out on the squat and deadlift, and the next day you're totally fried. Those types of runs and workouts are going to leave you feeling a certain way. They're going to leave you feeling very different than if you ran 20 miles or if you just hit a new weekly mileage record. And so let's talk about the difference between a muscular type of fatigue and then a more metabolic type of fatigue. The first set of workouts that we talked about, those fast 200-meter reps, all that downhill running, or a lot of heavy lifting in the gym with some plyometrics, you are probably going to feel very sore. This is muscular soreness. Your muscles might actually be sore to the touch, or walking up a flight of stairs is very painful because your muscles are just experiencing so much fatigue. This is very different from what you're going to feel like after a high mileage week or a long run. And the way that we deal with it has to be a little bit different as well. And most of it is in how you think about these workouts. Because you are experiencing a lot more muscular fatigue, then we shouldn't do anything that further risks additional muscle fatigue over the next several days. So let's avoid any faster running, let's avoid getting in the gym and doing any heavy lifting, and let's avoid some serious downhill running where you're just going to be sending a lot more impact force up through your legs. The workouts that we just talked about and that feeling of soreness and muscular fatigue does increase your injury risk. This is when you start getting injured because your muscles have become weaker. They have become less capable of absorbing the shock of running. And you really need to focus on rest and recovery afterward to help those muscles repair themselves, adapt to the stress that you just put them in so that the next time you go and do a big downhill run or a fast workout on the track, your body has adjusted, adapted, and is now ready to do it again a little bit more competently. All right, let's talk about the other side of the spectrum. Big high mileage week. Maybe you go and run a 20-mile long run, and the next day you feel flat. Your legs feel heavy, you have dead legs, and you're just so fatigued from what you just did. Now, there's less muscular soreness in these types of recovery situations because what's going on is more holistic. It's your whole body that is fatigued, not just individual muscles. Because you can imagine that you can get muscular fatigue in 5 minutes. I could go outside, do a bunch of plyometrics so that tomorrow I'll be barely able to walk. It's very difficult to get that heavy, dead-legged sensation in just 5 or 10 minutes. You almost can't do it. You have to train for a long time. And so the recovery needs are also different in this situation. The recovery needs here are that you need to avoid overtraining syndrome. You need to avoid burnout and those season-ending bouts of crippling motivation loss that happen from starting to do too much too soon. And so our recovery approach has to be a little bit more holistic as well. Sleep is even more important in this situation because you need to help more systems in your body recover. But for both types of soreness, fatigue, and recovery, some things work great. So we talked about sleep. Sleep is great no matter how you're feeling. You could be feeling great. Sleep is going to help you. But if you're really sore from a muscular type of fatigue, sleep will help you as well. This is also a great time to maybe take a little bit more protein. Easy cross training is another way that you can help yourself recovery. And I'm partial to pool running if you're feeling very fatigued, if your legs are sore, or if you have that flat, dead-legged feeling in your legs. Because easy pool running is really going to help with that recovery. It's going to help bring some extra blood flow to your legs, but the pressure of the water also helps with the recovery process. So get in the pool, do a half an hour of easy pool running, and you're going to feel a lot better the next day. Just don't do anything very long or very challenging. Now, one thing that's also very helpful in both situations is light massage. Now, a lot of us aren't going to go to a massage therapist after every hard workout that we do, after every high mileage week. So something very simple like a foam roller can be really helpful in these situations. Now, the key is not to go too hard, especially if you have muscular fatigue. If you're really sore, if your muscles are actually in a little bit of pain because you've done something really fast, or you've gone downhill for a long time, or even if you've lifted some very heavy weights, you don't want to further damage those muscles. So just do some light foam rolling. You really are just trying to get some extra blood flow, work on expanding your range of motion, and that's going to help you feel better the next day. Now, foam rolling is one of those things that helps runners in both situations. The key here is not to be too aggressive about it. You don't need to spend more than about a minute on each major muscle, and you don't have to go too hard. Simply do some light, regular, consistent rolling on the major muscles for about 30 seconds to a minute. This is going to help you improve your range of motion and bring a lot of healing blood flow to those areas where you're really sore. Get a lot of sleep, and I know that your recovery is going to be much more strategic and also informed now that you know the differences between that muscular fatigue and also that big global fatigue that happens from high mileage and a lot of volume.